I'm Dennis Keeley, Chair of the Photography and Imaging Program at ArtCenter College of Design. I want to welcome you to our event with Paul Jasmin on the occasion of his show, Los Angeles, at the Faye Klein Gallery. We'd actually like you to go now and watch a video conversation between David, Paul, and I from a couple of weeks ago in the gallery for a couple of minutes while we set things up for the Zoom event to follow. Follow the link that Natalia is putting up on the screen, but don't close your Zoom link so you can easily come back at 4:20. You can also find the video conversation later at artcenterphoto.com. At around 4:20, please come back with a refreshment because we're going to go live to and from all your homes. I want to thank Ray DeMesa and Natalia Lofen from all their help in making this crazy Zoom idea happen. And everyone at Faye Klein, especially David and Heather, and everyone at ArtCenter, especially Lewis and everyone in the Marcom. And special thanks to Wilson Murphy and Jason Leifert, and of course, Paul Jasmin for putting up with all of us. So we hope to see you back here at 4:20 Pacific Standard Time. So welcome back. I'm still Dennis Keeley. And I want to welcome to you to our Zoom hour with our artist. This has been a crazy time, but in a school like ArtCenter, life goes on navigating both good years and tough ones. Our photo department and Paul Jasmin have taught through these kinds of anxious times with economies, droughts, social change, Santa Ana winds, contested elections, fires, the explosion of cell phones, culture, and now in the isolation of a global pandemic. I'm honored to work with people like Paul and to have remarkable students and alums that have such great ideas. Images have a way of changing the world in some of the same ways that great teachers change and challenge students. Teachers set high expectations of their students. I can think of 1,000 ways I've seen Paul, instead of giving the fish to the student, they learn how to fish for themselves. Teachers encourage their students to try again better. And Paul is a great example of doing what you love. So the reason we're here to celebrate an exhibition of Paul's work at Faye Klein called Los Angeles. Originally, we thought we would be celebrating this occasion in the gallery. Instead, we're all staying safe at home with Zoom and with everyone else in the whole world safe in Zoom. The silver lining of this time is a reminder for us to celebrate life and great work wherever we are, and to celebrate a special vision that inspires us to be more than ordinary, see more than what happens in the everyday, and integrate dreams into the complexity of our lives. Paul Jasmin has made this idea a possibility, a sense of timelessness and beauty into something real. So one more bit of news is that Paul is our first faculty member, alum, or figure from our department's remarkable history and future to be honored with a day of his own. From this day forward, December 4th will be Paul Jasmin Day. In our calendar, there'll be a picture, a quote, and some writing every year on this day. We want to thank you for joining Paul and us to celebrate on a Friday night when instead of us all braving traffic, we bring the party to your house. So tonight, I want to welcome friends, alums, colleagues, and even some students to this silver-lined, cool environment. And I'm going to be looking at the chat to see who's here. And I think we're going to start with David Stradle. We're pulling this together. So I'm good at this. I can vamp with the best of them. But I do see David Fahey over there, and he looks like he's at my house with all those books. But David, I'm I'm really happy to be doing this from your home, from Paul's home, from my home, and from Wilson's home. And I think this is a great way for us to look to the future. How are you feeling there at home?
Doing great. Congratulations to Paul on December 4th. That's Paul's Day.
That's right, forever.
Yes.
So I think you're the only person I know that might have more books than I do.
I have a lot of books. I have a large library at home, and I have a large library at the gallery, as you know.
I know.
Look at them and read them. That's the other shocking thing.
You know, one of the things that we saw from Paul's pictures on the walls were about that these ideas that image makers have are really realized quite effectively on the wall. That there's the idea, there's the process, there's the progress, the success and failure, and ultimately what happens in the gallery is something that's curated, something that's chosen, something that's presented in a really beautiful way. The flow of the pictures, those are some things we can probably never do online, but it's something we can talk about online maybe forever. What precedes those things on the wall are these important conversations about how work is made. You've done this for many years. I see Natalia's on the phone. So I see Dewey Nix here, and Dewey, can you unmute yourself?
Can you hear me?
I can. It's great to see you and welcome.
Thank you very much. Honored to be here to celebrate Paul Jasmin, who made the huge difference in my life and career, and I always consider the mentor and the person that put me on the road to not only enjoying photography at a level I had never had, but taking the best pictures that I could take.
You're looking awful handsome, Dewey.
You too, Jazzy. Jazz's class was really inspirational because the quality of people that he brought to the class for us, and I think probably at that point, a year into the Art Center or something like that, and all of a sudden I got to work and be friendly with great Erica Anderson, Josie Perez, great hair and makeup people. There would be stylists. We met Bruce Weber in the class, and Jazz, you know, so supportive, and he'd be like, Josie, go with Dewey right now. You guys got to do something in that corner. Dewey found some great light there the other day, and you should do. And all of a sudden, it demystified the whole process. And I wasn't intimidated by the people that we were working with. You know, you start to collaborate with those the people that are earning their living in the industry, and while we're squeaking it out in Pasadena, and I made relationships, and, you know, Jazz taught you, be yourself, be funny. That dead-eye comment that was part of the film, you know, it's a huge lesson that you actually, and if you couldn't get past the dead-eye, Jazz would be the one to tell you, like, dead-eye, horrible, dead-eye, bad. I remember Jazz, one thing that Jazz said to me in the class was, I had a picture for another, I was trying to do 2 for 1. So I used another assignment and I tried to do a fashion picture, and Jazz looked at me, he goes, I never take a picture like this. I don't get this at all. And he was so right. It was so fake. I totally got caught. And it's a lesson that I learned. And, you know, Jazz told me, take pictures of your friends. And the lesson became that I made all the people on my shoot my friend.
That's right. I remember the first time, I knew Jazz before ArtCenter, but I remember the first time I walked into that class, I couldn't believe how many books were there. Mm. That the whole table was just filled with books, and he was just encouraging people to pay attention, to be in that moment. Like, I'm bringing you these books. I hauled these things out from my house for you to look at and learn from. Not just learn from me, but learn from all these people. Yeah. And students, I must say, when you invite students to learn, they show up. When you teach them, there's this wall, but when you just invite them to teach themselves, and when you invite them to learn about what they want to do, it's irresistible. Paul does this really well. I'm so happy you joined us here. And you look pretty good, pretty spiffy. And Paul,
I can remember Jazz bringing in the Italian Vogues and the French Vogues of that era, you know, and those were expensive and kind of hard to get your hands on. And Jazz had the most recent issues, and then going through them page by page was one of the great joys, because he would react so positively to pictures that he loved, you know, like with a,
yep.
And the European editors allowed photographers a lot more latitude. So from French Vogue, Italian Vogue, Loma Vogue, you just had more opportunities. So there was a great way to see better pictures, more exciting pictures.
So Dewey, thanks for joining us. And please stay. We're gonna have a whole bunch more people. Amanda, you might unmute. There you are.
Muted. Hello, Jazzy.
Hi, Amanda. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm looking at those great glasses. You look good with.
Thanks, Jazzy. I was finding my light for you, but the sun dropped just as I came on. So it's so nice to be here, and I'm so happy that Willie reached out and asked me to be a part of this. As you know, you have been, well, I don't know if you know how integral you have been. For me, I've had the good fortune to be photographed by you and also to learn so much from you. I'm forever grateful to you, Jazzy, because for so many years, people were just used to seeing me in front of the camera, and nobody took me seriously that I wanted to be a photographer. And you were the first person who said, if you want to learn, I'll teach you. Come to my apartment every week, come with your questions, I'll give you assignments. And you showed me books and books and books. You answered all my weird questions about magazines I would bring in, books I would bring in and say, how is this lit? What is this? How does this work? And if it weren't for you believing in me, I don't think I would have had the support to learn what I learned in order to become a photographer. And a lot of what I do with Girl Gaze, with my company that is very much focused on getting female and non-binary photographers work and getting them into the workplace, a lot of the approach I take with them is things that you taught me, which there's so many of them, but one of the things that a lot of people have said is, you know, you encouraging me always to photograph my life. And luckily my life was pretty sexy at the time. And those were people and pictures that people wanted to see. And you really encouraged me to find the truth, the honesty, the honest experience of people. And we've been editing documentary footage at the moment, and there's a lot of me and you. And it's really beautiful to be able to reflect back and to hear you, you know, just nurturing me and giving me encouragement. And I, you know, I'm just forever grateful to you, Jazzy. You're just a beacon for me. And so I want to thank you. I really, really want to thank you for everything that you gave to me, because I've been able to give that to so many other people. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
That's great. Thanks, Amanda. It's great to see you. It's great to see Jazz in his home. It's great to see you in your home. And please hang out. We're gonna have some more people. Chris, would you like to unmute yourself?
Sure. Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Well, congratulations, Jazz, and congratulations, David. It's so nice to see you guys all here. Yeah, it's funny. Of course, I've been thinking a lot about Jazz's impact on my life, not just his pictures, but he as a person, sort of, you know, effectively godfathering me through my adolescence, you know, being really close to my family and being very close to me physically, being my next door neighbor was, I mean, changed my life. But I think the images, the world that Jazzy took pictures of, this sort of like still cinematic universe that he showed me of these impossibly cool kids, Amanda being one of them. Hi, Amanda. This lifestyle that seemed so just unapproachably cool and romantic and sexy and dangerous and dramatic. And it's a world that I wanted to be a part of, and in many ways set me on the course of my life, writing about some of those people and that world as I saw it through Jazz's eyes, the way he showed it to the world. And it's never really left me. I still have a very sort of nostalgic part of my life that is all is all informed by Jazzy. And there still is nothing better. I am as addicted to Instagram and the internet as anybody. And I think very longingly of the days of sitting around the table at Grace or visiting ArtCenter and standing around the table there and just going through books, going through magazines, as Dewey says, endlessly. Sitting there telling stories, gossiping about the people who made the images maybe, or the things that it sort of stirred up in Jazzy's imagination. It was the greatest off-campus classroom I've ever been in. So it was a joy, and it's such a joy to see you guys all now.
Well, thank you for coming on, Chris. Thank you.
So Chris, you were Jazz's next door neighbor?
For, yeah, nearly 10 years, I think. I don't know, I could be exaggerating, but it felt that way. And I had sort of known him for probably my whole life, it seems like, through David Hutchins and my dad, David Wallace. You
lived in the Los Altos?
No, in the Grace apartments, the El Cabrillo, which was, you know, this. It's funny now to see it in all these TV shows. It was in the show Hollywood on Netflix. What was it in just recently that I saw? But it has that sort of old world charm that you can't otherwise like fabricate. And, you know, it was like living in Jazzy's world, living in that apartment building. It's just,
so having your teacher live next door can be great and could be terrible.
No, it was wonderful. I mean, I made a short film that we shot in the building, and Jazzy shot the poster and the picture of us there. It was wonderful. It was such a weird, you know, Norman Bates motel.
Well, we'll talk about Norman Bates later, but thanks for coming. Lisa, would you like to unmute yourself?
No, it's okay. Yeah. I have the light from there though.
Muted, I believe.
Am I muted?
Welcome.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Jazz. December 4th.
Hi, Lisa. You're looking awful chic.
I said that, babe. I would have been awfully jealous. Obviously, we're all missing you incredibly, and this is no replacement for the real you, for sure, because in the 40 years that I've known you, you're probably one of the most mesmerizing people I have ever met.
Oh.
And the stories, and we live on, and generations listen to you, and not just me, but my children. And there's Sophia, and Sophia, you introduced really, you've brought up a whole generation of children, besides being our friends and our mentors in many ways in photography. And you've always been one of the most brilliant photographers I ever worked with. I don't know how you ever found the light. You probably just stumbled across it after a little hit of from somebody you knew. Anyway, I'm just really always in awe of you, and I miss you, and this shutdown has been horrible. So this is a blessing. The fact that you actually are on a Zoom call, maybe the probably something we all never would have imagined you could be on. And I'm sure Jason is holding the mute button very carefully as we all enter your world. So,
Well,
love you.
thank you for coming on. And again, you look so, I was going to say a real nasty word, so chic.
Jason, mute.
Yeah.
Lisa, you don't, you can't even imagine how many conversations we had about this to make this happen.
I bet.
But I think we will come back, but I think this is always going to be part of what we do in teaching, and the way that we can continue to connect with each other any way at all is really important. And
well, I know that it's hard for Jazzy to teach in this way, computer-wise. So I mean, as the learning goes on, and obviously, Jazzy, you get more accustomed to it. You actually are such a teacher, a natural teacher, without any help.
It just comes through. Yeah. So thanks for showing up, and Sophia, it's great to see you here in this environment.
Thank you. Hi, I was sorry I was in a panic because I didn't know how to join and I was talking over Lisa. So.
You're supposed to know all this stuff.
No, I'm still a film person, not digital.
Me too.
But I'm so happy to see all of you in Jazz. I can't believe I'm on a Zoom with you.
Thank you for coming on this, Soph.
I'm so happy to see you. And your show looked beautiful. And like everyone here, I love you so much, and you were so important to me. Of course, finding my way as a creative person, and I feel so lucky that I ditched the painting department and came and sat in on your classes, and yeah, and you always told me I had a point of view, which was really important to me. It was one of the first person outside of my family that thought that and gave me the confidence to pursue making things. And
one of the things I think I love about where my photography took me is it took me to people like you, and how I could record part of your life in my camera was such a blessing. Thank you for coming on this.
Oh, I love you, Jazz. And I love that it was at 4:20, the timing.
You're looking awful good.
Thank you. I'm in Belize.
You are?
I fled the city and being an expat in Central America. Not to rub it in. I hope you guys are all okay.
It's really important for us to keep connected any way possible. And so this isn't perfect, but the world is not perfect. And something comes through here that's important about teaching, about learning, about that thing that's enduring, that you remember great teachers. You never forget them. They continue to inspire you no matter what you do. So thanks so much for joining us all the way from Belize.
Thank you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Finally, I connected. Hi, Soph. Nice to see you. Hi, Jazzy. Hi, David.
I just wondered who this handsome guy is on the screen.
Hi, Chris. Wow.
You look so with a mustache.
This is my COVID. Yeah, I know. So, Jazzy, I really wanted to be there, of course, and maybe even put my 2 cents worth into the hanging. Sorry, David. And I'm so sorry, but the show looks gorgeous. I just looked at the video. It looks fantastic. Congratulations. I miss you. I miss everybody here. Haven't seen everybody for so long. But congratulations, Jazzy, on your show and your December 4th naming of your day.
I'm just blown away, Dee, by how hot you look.
No, all I can see are the reflection of my screen and my
beard, the mustache and the hair. And thank you for coming on this. Thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
And next we have, I think, Ms. Rentmeister, is that right? Colleen, can you unmute yourself?
Pardon?
We're trying to, I need a sign that says unmute yourself.
What did he say?
Let's see. Ah, there you are. We can hear you now. She doesn't think we can hear her, but we can.
Signal's lost, right? I think you're okay. Her signal.
Nope.
Want to come say hi to Jazzy? Sure. There's a lot of people on here.
So I think we're going to move to Daria. There you are. And
hi. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Daria. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine.
It's been a while. Well, I just wanted to talk you up and say that, so I took your class twice and I TA'd for you once. And I also did an independent study with you. So I can genuinely say that I am where I am today because of you. And you redirected me back to a more honest part of my work that I had lost while trying to navigate the technical and commercial aspects of photography. I think at the beginning of ArtCenter, taking, the lighting and the Photoshop and printing classes and, all those are really important. But I kind of lost what inspired me most about photography, and that's the emotional connection. And you really taught me the beauty of an in-between moment, that moment when someone's not paying as much attention or their guard is down, and you kind of get a glimpse at their more authentic self. And as you said in your interview, dead eye, an eye without a thought. And I find myself still editing my photos and thinking to myself, would Jazzy think that this had dead eye, or is this, what would he think? I think that I just wanted to say I'm forever grateful to you for your sense of humor, your generosity, all your stories. And I just think about like the simple moments of walking you and your bags to your car or spending the afternoon at your apartment. Those are things that I'll remember forever. And what you taught me really spans beyond the physical act of taking an image. And I feel like you really taught me a way of seeing my world.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Daria, I think you caught it all. I think it is those things that are in between. It's the way you invest in it. I would hate to say this, but I have to. It's like carrying the books is a really important piece of the puzzle. It's what completes the big ideas to what you take away. And I'm really happy that alums can come back and remember that they learned a lot of these things in school, and it's great to see you.
Good to see you guys.
Hang around. We're gonna see some more people.
Yeah.
I think it's Eric Ray Davidson. Am I right?
Hey guys, how
we
you
met
doing?
so briefly.
Yeah, just for a little bit. This is
Yeah.
like so overwhelming, to be honest. Like this last like year has been so crazy. And you know, seeing Paul again and listening to everyone talk about their like overflowing love for him is really like kind of an overwhelming experience, because that's certainly how I experienced my time with him, where you know you're kind of up against so much and you feel like what you're going to do is impossible, but he's there to make you feel like there's a reason to chase your love for it and that there's a way through it all. And I had a similar story to Dewey where I shot the first assignment the first week and I brought it in and he loved it. And then I shot an assignment for the second week and I showed it to him and he's like, you know, I wish you never showed me that first week thing because this is awful. And it was total trash. But I loved the honesty from him and I loved all the time we spent in class together, and also TAing and working on a lot of Los Angeles together was a really kind of a transformative experience for me. And, you know, the thing that I carry with me the most from my time with you is how the vibe can and should be on set. It's just this euphoric kind of state. And so, you know, every time that I step on a set, I'm trying to create this environment where everyone is sort of living their best kind of version of themselves and reconnecting with being a creative. And that's the thing that you gave to me. And after like 15 years in the industry and, you know, dealing with all the different things that go into it, always trying to find my place back into that mindset that I existed in for all those years with you is that's kind of my secret power, I think. And I owe all of that to you.
Thank you, Eric. You're looking awful good too.
We're all trying to find good light. I had to scramble out of the other room because the light wasn't good.
Goatee and the mustache, you're right on.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You couldn't grow that years ago.
It's all I can grow. So I'm like, I'll be 40 next year. So I'm just leaning into it, you know?
You know, you said something in passing, you said about the impossibility of it all. And jazz makes that stuff the bar, right? It's like, we talked about this, I'm not sure it made it into the film, but we talked about the dead eye of the picture. We also talked about the dead eye of the photographer, that the photographer has to reach across that barrier and gauge. And what you see in the model or the subject is their response. It's impossible for them to have the dead eye because you've made them your friend. You've made them the person that you're engaging. And when the picture works, it's a magical thing. And jazz really does that show. I'm so stunned by these pictures that they fly him to Paris and he doesn't even leave the hotel room. It's like, we could go everywhere, but this is where it's going to be. And in recognizing those things and sharing that with students is more than we could ever ask of anybody. So, hey, much success. Great to see you. And that is good light for you. So thanks for joining us. Stick around. I think we're ready to, Colleen, are you ready to unmute? And
Dennis, I gotta thank you, dude.
Oh, Paul, this is what I wanted you to see. So
you gave me the opportunity to have a voice with young people, and I think that's so important.
We do that together.
Yeah.
That's our job.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Teaching, I think, what I love to do more than anything.
In any way, in any medium.
Anyway, thank all of you, and thank you, Dennis, for putting this
together. You're so
welcome.
Hi, Jazzy. It's Kalina.
Kalina.
It's been too long, and
good to see you.
Oh my God, I miss and think about you all the time.
I'm looking around you at this studio. Where is this studio?
We're working today. Thankfully we wrapped a little early just so we can make this happen. We're shooting at this place called Dust Studio. It's on Formosa, not far from where we used to live, next to each other. So here I am. I'm so deeply, deeply indebted to you, Jazzy. I just have for years, I would say throughout my entire career, have wanted to tell you that I am incredibly grateful for everything that you've been in all of our lives. Obviously, my life, but so many students before me and after me, friends, family, you got it. You are truly the most generous person I've ever known. And I thank you for giving me that understanding of how to approach photography, not as a not in a sort of self-serving way, but more as in terms of like a serving a community and building a community and trusting the collaboration. I remember two classes in particular that we had together where you had all your books and we put our stuff up on the wall, and I think you had just taken some pictures over the weekend and you said, you know, you don't really need that much. You could just put somebody in a t-shirt. You don't need production. You don't need hair and makeup. You just need a story. You just need light, and you just need to take the picture. And forever that will sit with me, because sometimes people overthink something before they take a picture, but it really is at the end of the day just approaching art, what we do is art, and just loving it and breathing it and living it. And I thank you for that, for teaching me that lesson. I also remember when you brought Peter Lindbergh to class, and he brought some of his work, his contact sheets, and he was very open about sharing, you know, the bad pictures and the good pictures, bad pictures and the good pictures. And he said, in order to take good pictures, you have to take bad pictures. And that too has always stayed with me. So now that we don't shoot film, and we can't hide the Polaroids under our arms when they're cooking and when they're ready, and we're not ready to share them. And now everybody's seeing our pictures on a monitor, and it's like free for all. I think to myself, well, I know that in order to get to where we need to go, like, we're gonna have not so great pictures to show. And I can't thank you enough, Jazzy. You brought me on you were my first job. You brought me to my first agent. You brought me to my first home in LA. And I can't I can't thoroughly qualify or quantify how much you mean to me and how much of an impression you've made on me. And I forever and every day am grateful, and I live it every day. I thank you.
Thank you so much. Galena, much to me, what you said.
Sorry, what did you say, Jazzy?
I said it means so much to me how you said it and what you said.
Thank you.
And also I meant everything I said. Look at you and look where you are today.
It's really because of you. I owe it to you. And I thank
Happy New Year. You look awful.
You know what, also, just so you know, I don't think I ever told you this, but my father went to ArtCenter. So he graduated, I think, just around 1964, around the Watts riots, because he was at ArtCenter while covering the Watts riots, and he won a World Press Photo Award to shoot one when he shot that assignment. But I remember my first day at ArtCenter, and Pete, the lab teacher, Pete, I can't remember his last name, Szynski or something like that.
Pete Szynski.
Yeah, he said to me, he said, "You have big shoes to fill. Are you sure you want to be here?" And I sort of laughed, and I said, "Yeah, I think so." And Jazzy never made me feel like I had to match up to anything. Like, you welcomed me to your class, and even at first, second, third term, all the terms before I had you as a teacher, I would show my father my work, and he would say, "That's like a little amateur. Are you sure you really want to continue to do this? I don't know." And then you asked us to shoot, as like our final assignment of the year, to create a scrapbook as our portfolio. And so I created a scrapbook of prints and contact sheets and bits and bobs that I collected, and that sort of became my portfolio, you know, along with the ball, cube, and cylinder assignments. Like, whatever I shot for you or whatever I shot on a Holga camera, I put in that scrapbook, and I showed it to my dad And the first time he ever sort of approved of my work was that assignment. And he said, okay, I can see where you're going. I think you might be onto something. And so that, again, that was because of you. I finally got my dad's approval because of you. Anyway, maybe too much information, sorry.
No, not at all. I think these are the stories we always miss, and we like hearing them. It's a really important connection to make between you, your dad, and ArtCenter and your career. You know, I see in the background everybody's wearing masks at your place.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's good times, it's bad times. Work is what we do.
Yeah.
And we sometimes don't even know we're making the best work. It's the hardest time, but I see you persevering. This is important. You demonstrate something that no matter what, people making these images changes the world. So, you know, thanks for joining us. This is really a great celebration. You are so welcome here.
Thank you. And lucky to be a part of it.
And keep in touch.
I will, for sure.
Okay, hang here for a second. I think we're going to hear from Andrew Durham. Is that right?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Hi, Jazzy. Can you hear me?
Well, Andrew, I can't. Now I'm placing you because all the pictures in the background.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Is your studio?
I'm in my studio, and a couple hours ago I had some really nice light in here, but now there's no light, and so I'm sorry you're getting the glow from the desktop.
Well, it's good seeing you. Thanks for coming out for this.
I miss you, Jazz. It's sad that we've spent so many years together socially, and this last year has been a little boring for me, at least. I spent a lot of this time going through a lot of my old snapshots and photos I've taken over the years. And it's interesting, Jazz, I have so many of you from about the last 25 years that I realized you sort of were my model for a while. And so I'd love to sit down and share some of them with you soon. It's pretty amazing just to look back and see all of those photos. And also it's incredible also to see this fan club you have here. This is pretty amazing. And
well, the great thing about this event is it's like an opening, but you can actually hear people. You can actually hear people talk.
That's true, whether you want to or not.
Whether you want to or not. So I think I see Bruce Weber in the wings there. Is that right?
Yes, you're right. Yep, here we are. Hi,
welcome.
Jazz. Hi, Jazz. Hey, Jazz.
Hi, Jazz.
I can't believe I'm seeing you. I'm like, you know. Oh, wow.
Bruce, what can I say? What can I say other than thank you? I think you were the great inspiration in my life. Really, you're the first person when I was taking pictures to draw from and to paint from. I think the first person that said, Jazzy, your pictures are nice. And I think that kind of led me to, you know what? The encouragement coming from you, you're my first inspiration, and you always have been. Thank you.
Hey, well, you're Nancy, my big inspiration. You know, you were the first person that I met in New York City. You came up to me on the street. I was going to a party, and you said, "Where are you going?" And I said, "Just over there." And you said, "Oh, can I? Oh, yeah, I'm going there too. Let's go together." And ever since then, you've showed me the way. And we, you know, you're still a Montana kid. I always think of you like that. And I always look at your photographs and I think of these wonderful stories that your mom told you, and you give me all these expressions your mom, you know, said to you. And I was very lucky to share an assignment in Montana with you. Do you remember when we did? Yeah, Per Louis and Lay magazine, with small magazines that were really fun to work for, put out by Italian Vogue. And we were in a little town called Big Timber, and we were photographing all these girls and guys, and we had all these overcoats. And we had all these kind of English overcoats we were putting on Montana kids. And you saw this guy over there standing and hiding away from us. He was a really big, tall kid. And you said, that kid's great, and I'm going to photograph him. And you were so right. And you did such beautiful pictures of him. And he was an American Indian kid who grew up there and grew up on the reservation. And I realized at that moment that what we do together as friends is that we record our lives. And we, you know, and so I'm so proud to be part of your history. It means so much. And all these people here feel the same way, and all your students, when I've come to the Art Center, they can't believe that they're with Paul Jasmin. And years later, we found out that that kid, you know, he was playing around a lot with guns, and he shot himself in the dead of winter. And I remember the beauty that you brought that kid in your pictures that'll last forever. Oh, Jazzy, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations on your show at David's. It looks gorgeous. And I love the prints that I got. And I miss you so much. Don't we, Nat?
Yeah, we haven't seen you.
We haven't seen you in so long, man. You're hiding out. You're getting spooky, man. Where are
Thank
you?
you, the two of you, to come on and do this. And Bruce, you always have been, and it never goes by that I don't say my great inspiration. I think when you first told me, Jazzy, I like your pictures, I took that as a, so important for somebody to tell you that they like what you do. A lot of people don't do that. And thank you for the inspiration.
Well, you know, when I said that to you, I was lying, because I really wanted to say, no, they're great. Your pictures are great. But I didn't want you to get a big head right away.
Thank you for being you.
I wanted to both. The Jazz's show is still on view at the gallery. And if you can't come to the gallery, you can see the installation online on the website, but it looks great in person. And Bruce and Nan, warm regards.
Right, David, great to see you. And thanks for doing such a beautiful show with Jazz. It means so much to all of us and to so many people, you know. You can't imagine, I travel around a lot, and still to this day, people say to me, oh, I love your friend Paul Jasmin's pictures. And what's he like? And I said, he's just like his photos.
You know, that's one of the biggest compliments I've ever heard. And you're right. He's just like his photos. There's an exterior to them, and there's an interior. There's a heart in them that comes through. That I will tell you, he shares this with everybody. He shares this with his teaching. He shares it with his friends. And if you make pictures about yourself, about your life, you almost can't go wrong. It's great to hear from you, Bruce, about just the mutual admiration society here, that people who make great pictures can admire other people's pictures too. And I love being in this world where we're all really making work that we try to make it represent us, or the best of who we are. And you know, this is one of those times where you just encourage people to keep doing that and keep staying in touch, and by any means possible, whether it's Zoom or I don't think we're going to be flying anytime soon, but Bruce, if you're traveling, fly safe.
Thank you. Wow, I'm looking at this and I'm seeing so many friends of yours, Jazz. It's so crazy. Yeah, it's so wild. I love it.
We weren't even sure this was going to work. So, but this is working.
Bruce, you taught me something. I just dawned on me when Dennis was talking. What you said when she said about my work, you said you never know where Jazz's pictures are going to take you. It's just like with him, you never know where he's going to take you. And it kind of stuck with me, and it was such a nice inspiration.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to all of you.
Happy New Year. Stay safe.
Okay, take care.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Jesse. Goodbye.
So I think we're going to talk to Andrew Hurwitz next. Is that right?
Yes, that's me. Yeah.
I can't see you yet. Now I see you.
Okay. Hi, Paul. I don't know if I'm on. Am I on?
Your video's not on.
My video is not on. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. Okay. Start my video. Okay. Now I got it.
Very good.
Okay. There I am. Thank you for having me into your group of luminaries here. I've always been a fan of yours. I have all of your first books, and this one is my favorite, California Dreaming, because I've read what you've written in the front of it, and it is so beautiful. So I hope you can hear me. And you know, you're just such a wonderful inspiration as a photographer, but also as a Californian. You show us how to look at our city in the way that it makes it wondrous again. And I want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
The way that you photograph people is so, it's almost as if you aren't trying, and people are just coming at you in a naturalistic way, the same way that you approached that man on the boat in Italy, and when you saw him on the deck, and it's just such a wonderful lesson of being in touch with your senses, and that's what you transmit in your photography. And I just want to thank you for what you've done, because you just bring such beauty into my life. And when I look at your pictures, they're calming. They're a good thing to look at during the pandemic. They're a good drug during the pandemic. So thank you.
So did you go to ArtCenter?
No, I didn't, but I've just, you know, I've just been a follower of Paul's through the years. And I live in LA, and I visit Pasadena quite a bit. And, you know, I'm just, you know, have paid attention to Paul and his way of seeing. And that's how it's, you know, affected me as a photographer and as a writer as well. So, you know, it's affected me walking around Hollywood and Whitley Heights and Pasadena, and, you know, just made me, you know, feel in touch with a way of perceiving things that I think is a lovely lesson that you've gently imparted to people.
Oh, that's great. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Is Chris Cofaro there?
Yes, I'm here.
So start your video.
I'll start my video. I think I did that already.
No, so you're in a really dark place.
There you go. There I am. Jazzy.
How are you, Chris?
Long time. Wow.
Where are you calling from?
Actually, I finally moved off of Sycamore Avenue after 30 years, and I live in Beverly Hills now. Yeah. Last time I saw you was bumped into you at a color lab somewhere, I think, many years ago. But I love listening to everybody talk about you. I just got to tell one quick story, because you have no idea what an inspiration you were to me. Because I moved here 40 years ago at 20 years old, didn't know anybody, was working at Photo Impact, and all the big shot photographers were coming into Photo Impact all the time. And Don took good care of me. Jack took good care of me. And there you were. You always were the nicest photographer to me, and I was nothing. I was just processing film all day, every day. And you taught me how to be nice to people, to everybody. And I love the fact that, like, you never had an ego. You were just friendly. You were helpful. You answered my dumb questions about photography, and you just inspired me. And it was just such a great thing at such a young age to take to the following years as I built my career. And then I ended up doing lectures at ArtCenter for Melanie Penny, and I ended up getting my first agency because of you. I got, like, you started it all. It's your fault that I am where I am today.
I'll mention that to him next time I see him.
It's like, I'm crazy because of you, but no, I can't tell you, like, back in those days, you know, I was young and just, you know, I've been a workaholic my whole life, and a lot of photographers wouldn't answer my questions. Everybody was just too cool. And Paul never said no. He just sat and talked to me all the time. And it meant so much to me for so many years.
You know, Chris, when you work in a lab, you meet everybody. And
yeah.
And some of the people you meet are so disappointing because they're not.
Oh, I won't name names.
No, we won't. But
I didn't go the assistant route. I never assisted a photographer. I went to the lab route, and that's where I met everybody. And I always say to I do lectures all over the world all the time, and I tell people all the time that, you know, the people that taught me most was what I learned was just being nice. And Paul Jasmin and Greg Gorman taught me so much about just treating your clients, treating your crew, just being nice. And I've done that my whole career. And I always tell people, there's a reason why I've been in business for 50 years, is I'm not an asshole. You know, it's about being nice, you know, and, you know, and I stress that to all the people I mentor, and I stress that to all my clients, everybody these days. Just be nice. Doesn't cost a dime.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Chris, thanks for next time you're in town, drop by.
I would love to. I used to do lectures for Melanie for years. I loved her to death.
I miss Melanie so much. I can't tell you.
Yeah, I do too. You know, she put a smile, and she repped me. She's everything. She was the best of the best.
Great to see you.
Great to see you.
Marin, is that you? It is you. You're muted though.
Yeah, that's me.
And where are you?
Oh, I'm in Geneva, Switzerland.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Hi, everyone.
Greetings.
I have so many things to say, so I'm going to try to be not too long and really short, actually. But this is like by far the coolest Zoom call ever. I am so super happy to be here and to see all of you. I have many people to thank on this call. Hi, Eric. Nice to see you. Paul, thank you so much. You made me love Los Angeles and the glamour of Los Angeles that is still alive. So I want to really thank you for that. Thank you also, Dennis, for also organizing this exhibition. And thank you, David, because every other time in LA, you welcome me and we have a little meeting. And Bruce, you made me love black and white photography. You made me love documentary filmmaking. And really, this is so cool. So thank you all.
You know, you're the first person that I saw turn architecture upside down. And I wasn't sure how it would be accepted, and I just fell in love with it. And it's great to see you all the way there. Happy holidays. We'll see you over here sometime.
Sure. Yeah, actually, I've been waiting for about 8 months now to come to LA.
Yeah, everybody.
So yeah.
Thank you for pulling all this together. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks. And
so David,
somebody else.
No, you're good.
I think David Stradle's going to speak. But you're muted.
There, am I on now?
Perfect.
Okay, good. Paul Jasmin Day. It's unbelievable. I was in your class in '88. I snuck in first semester. I took your class second semester, and everybody was aghast at me getting in there that soon in the program. But there was one thing that you said to me that I've repeated this mantra over and over and over again, is that when you take a picture or when you take a photo, it has to have soul. You told me that, and you told me that if the photo doesn't have soul, it's just a picture. And I have told that to more people, and I've lived that mantra. I went from shooting a lot to shooting little, and like you started in painting, I've switched over to painting, and I'm trying to do paintings with soul now. So you've been an inspiration to me, and I will never forget my 2 semesters in your class. And I just can't thank you enough for the inspiration that you've given all of us. I think that's just a fantastic thing.
My pleasure, David. Yeah, I love your paintings. Your paintings are really nice.
My daughter, my muse. And in fact, the last time I saw you, I had hair, and obviously it's all gone. So it's been a while since I've been out to see ArtCenter. So thank you for everything that you've done. And thank you for being friends with all of us.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Happy New Year.
You too, Paul. Thank you.
You know, David, you say some things that remind me about thanks for all Paul has done in both exhibiting the work and in teaching, and he gives it as all. Paul, you just tell people to bring their life to you, and it's really about this discussion about what do you love, what's your passion, what's your soul, what and those questions really create an environment for people to invest in, and people to learn in, and people to exchange information in. It creates a conversation about how we all do things differently, and it's a great class. I wish I could have you all come back and be in a Paul Jasmin class again. And this is as close as this gets. But when we're all out and about again, like to make sure everybody, when they're in Los Angeles, comes through Pasadena. And,
Dennis?
Yes.
What about if you asked everybody on here to send one of our photos from Paul's class to ArtCenter so that they could be put up?
I'd love to see that. That would be a great show.
Some of the stuff was absolutely phenomenal.
So we're capturing everybody's information. We'll be in touch. This is the first of many things like this we're going to try and do. So I'm happy this, even with its little fits and starts, I'm really happy that this is a way we can still reach out and find people and bring them together. So this is a great time, and a great silver lining for this time. So and I couldn't think of anybody better to do this with Paul. And it took some arm twisting because he's very suspicious of this environment, as we all should be. But I can't thank him enough for participating in this. I want to ask somebody to speak who I think wasn't going to speak, but so Wilson, could you say a couple of things?
Yeah, am I unmuted?
No, you're right on.
I'm good. Yeah, I want to thank you, Dennis, for putting this together, and thank you, David, for a beautiful show. Jazz and I go back probably 30 years now, and he was one of the first photographers I started to represent when I first started my business around 1990, and I was introduced, I guess, through Bruce, through Dimitri, I'm not sure the connection, and Jeffrey. Anyways, I was introduced to this crazy person from LA. He was living in LA, and I didn't know anything about him. And I had a picture of him wearing a cape, and I knew then I'd probably really like this guy. He was different. So we started working together, and I learned so much from him as an agent about the kind of photographer that I wanted to work with, and about photography in general, and I sort of grew to. I learned what's important, and sort of that point of view that Jazz has, and I've worked with a lot of photographers over the years, and Jazz is still there, and we speak sometimes twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. We have a certain communication that we hold close, and I love Jazz, and he knows that, and he's sort of, he's my brother, he's my father, he's a lot to me, on top of the photography thing. So I've learned a heck of a lot from him. And I think Moss as well is on the call here, and he feels the same way as well. And I think everybody he's touched is just loves him to death. And we've had shows around, in Tokyo with him, and people just adore him, whether it's Paris, French Vogue office, and they're flipping out over his pictures. And anyway, it's been a long journey, and it's been one of the most exciting things for me. And we still have things to do. So we're looking forward to pushing him out there some more. And Jazz, we kid about it all the time.
Thank you, dude.
What's that?
Thank you for putting up with me. Thank you for who you are.
Oh, it's not putting up. It's a love, and I'm happy that I'm part of your world. Yeah.
Dennis, thank you for pulling all this together.
This part's been easy because I'll tell you, the most suspicious time I had was you putting me in touch with somebody who would be your agent. And I was just hoping and praying that person would be nice. And, the people you've surrounded yourself with, that's what speaks to a great career, is that the people that are around you support and represent you in a way that you really are. And it's been easy for me to talk to people about why they should take your class, and about what they would experience, and not that they would learn one thing. It's that space where they still have questions, and I go, well, talk to Paul. Paul loves questions, and it is the hardest people as a teacher are the people that have all the answers. And when they have the questions, you create a context for this in your own pictures, in your career, in just speaking with Wilson. It was like, this is such a great opportunity for people to say thanks to you, and for us to have a gallery celebration that we can't have in real time, but we could have this, and this was something that I really wanted to do. So I know how suspicious you were and how resistant you are, but I also knew that if anybody can pull this off, it's you. Your spirit just comes forward, and people responded to that. I see. Is this Doug? Are you gonna join us? You are muted. There we go.
Hi, thank you. Hi, Jazzy.
Hey.
And Wilson and everybody.
You're up here. Looking awful cool, dude.
Likewise, Jazzy. I miss your apartment. I mean, for me to see those pictures in the video in the gallery, some of them were blown up, and I was part of so many of those pictures. It was really emotional, and it's hard for me not to go. I was ready to get on a plane and go see the show. I'm in Chicago, and I couldn't do it. It was really hard because so much of those days working with Jazzy and all the crew, and those are like the most incredible days of my life. It wasn't work. It was hanging out with friends and family and making art and pictures, and it was really special. I knew it was special then, and I know it's special now, though. And thank you, Jazzy. You're such a huge part of my life, and what can I say? It was great.
Doug, thanks so much for being here. These are the important moments, I think. So I see somebody else that I'm glad is on camera here. Brian, can you unmute?
Hey, Dennis.
Dennis,
Hey, Brian, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm so glad to see you. Is that
How are
an
you?
enlarger back there?
It's in my bedroom. Yeah, it's one of my enlargers in my bedroom. Yeah. I keep it in my bedroom. I did my chemicals in the bathroom. Hey, Jazz, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Thank you for coming on this. The sound went off on my thing, I think.
No, I think he just.
How are you, Jazz?
Yeah, the sound has gone off on mine.
Brian, just
Brian, good seeing you.
try to come back.
Can you hear me?
Oh, now we see you and hear you. Yes.
Okay, yeah. When I took Jazz's class, it was the best class I ever took at ArtCenter. It was looking forward to every Friday morning, getting up early and putting my pictures on the wall and waiting for Jazz to come up the hill, and I'd be the first one there to carry his books and bring it to the car. And well, a little bit about me. When I was 7 years old, my cousin showed me Bruce Weber's Abercrombie catalogs. And that was the reason why I wanted to become a photographer, is by looking at his catalogs. And then later on, I learned more about Diane Arbus and different photographers. And then when I discovered Jazz's books, and then getting the opportunity to meet him and getting to hear all the words of wisdom that Bruce gave to Jazz and Jazz gave to me, it felt like I was getting those words of wisdom from him. And Jazz always just said the nicest things about him. And I couldn't thank Mr. Weber enough. And I couldn't thank Jazz enough for inspiring me to become the photographer that I am today.
Oh, thank you so much.
Brian, I can't thank you enough for joining us, because
Dennis, thank you for putting all this together.
No, this is the best part of my job, to tell you the truth. Michelle, just unmute here. Oh, I can't hear you though. You're muted. There we go.
Now, hi guys. How are you? This is intimidating. This is crazy. Sorry, my dog wanted to say hello. Hi, Paul. I just wanted to say hello as well, and that I'm so grateful for you. This is a little bit intense because I'm a recent grad, and everyone here has been in your life for so long. But I'm also so grateful for you as I think as someone who was raised by the internet and was so bombarded by content, your class was such a refreshing point of view. You were able to point out what was good work, or not good, but meaningful work and soulful work, and what it wasn't just about creating, just constantly creating. Oh, I'm so sorry, I have dogs. They're barking in the background. But you constantly pointed out what I felt like, I think like made a photo a connection, or like how to connect with your work and not just creating content, if that makes sense. So as someone who's a little bit younger, it meant so much to take your class because it helped me slow down in my process. And I just loved connecting with you and sitting in class with you and looking over books and magazines and walking them back to your car too. I feel like it really meant a lot to me. And I'm going to take that back with me through the rest of
So Michelle, you're in a very exclusive club, people that took classes with Paul Jasmin.
Yeah,
It's an
independent study, so I really appreciate it. And
it lasts forever.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. So is Sherry Etheridge here somewhere?
Hi, Jazzy. Hi. I have to take off my glasses.
There you are.
Hi.
Sherry,
I just
it's
want
so
to say,
good to see you. Where are you? Where am I talking to you from, Sherry?
home, Silver Lake, California, Los Angeles.
Don't be a stranger.
Well, answer the phone.
I do. Now I do.
I'm so happy that I can say that I was in Paul's life, and we traveled together and spent so many just amazing times that literally were life changing. Just being in his presence, let alone traveling to Morocco and Mexico. And, you know, everybody who knows him knows the stories and knows how many people that are attracted to him and how many people he attracts. And when we were in Morocco, walking through the souk, you know, people were calling him Hollywood. They just knew, you could just see it. He was just like, you know, he's just magic wherever he is, wherever he goes. He can see and spot, you know, Los Angeles, the beauty of its heyday, you know, and he can see it just out of the corner of his eye. He captures it. He captures it in people. He captures it, you know, the most classic, sexiest man, woman, you know, anything. You know, I can't express enough how much I love you. And I just wish, you know, this show that, you know, at David's, you know, I just wish it was different times so that you could be surrounded and feel all the love from all the people that you've touched. I mean, this is fantastic, but, you know, you deserve that kind of celebration of your work. And, you know, just to really see and feel all the people that you've touched, and including myself. I feel so lucky.
Oh, Sherry, those were the best years of my life.
I know.
No, these are the best years.
I'm saying we had
no,
some.
those are the best photo years.
Okay.
Yeah, we had. Yeah, we still have more years to come, but those, you know, those were the days.
Oh, thank you again, Jerry. Thanks for coming on.
I know, I had to.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. See you soon.
So Marley.
Janice.
Hi.
Here.
Hi, Jazz. I miss you. I just wanted to say that just coming into your class was like the greatest thing that ever happened to me, because I was so overwhelmed with my work and where it was going. And the inspiration you give to all your students was just so comforting. And it just makes you feel like you can take a deep breath and just relax and enjoy the process of photography. And you just have been such a great inspiration. And I love hearing all the stories of all of your other students. And yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for everything you've done for me. And I'm sad that my independent study got cut short with you because of the pandemic, but once it's all over, I'm so excited to see you again.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Also, Marley, keep taking those nice pictures.
Yeah, I can't. I've been shooting so much, and I just can't wait to show you everything. Every time I shoot, I think, what would Jazz say about this?
It's great to see you, Marley.
No.
Yeah, that's my
like this. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you got my postcard.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year and happy holidays.
Happy holidays. It's great to see you. You look great. You look like you graduated.
I did graduate, and I
know.
feel graduated. Yeah, it's good to see everyone.
It's an aura about people that you know, I need to say this because this is what a department does. This is what happens to people when they come and put themselves into an environment that they don't know the answers. They don't know what it is. And they throw them into this thing 150%. And what I've seen about ArtCenter is that's the minimum investment that people make. And tonight, what we see is that people get more out of this than can be quantified, that lives change. And we don't make pictures for the world. We make pictures that change the world. We lead the world. These pictures, they inspire, they make you think, they make you dream, they make you wish, they make you feel. And there were years that I thought you couldn't teach this. And I actually sat next to a very famous photographer who said, well, you can't learn photography at school. You have to go out and make 10,000 pictures. And I said, well, that's what we make them do. That's exactly what we make them do. We make them go out and take 10,000 pictures, and then we have a conversation about it that has meaning for each individual. One of the things that we see here tonight is that each person had a different experience with you, Paul, and that they share this space, and so do you. You're a part of them as well.
Dennis, I can't thank you enough for pulling all this together. I really can't.
So,
and also for allowing me to teach at the ArtCenter, which is like one of the great pleasures of my life. I'm very honored.
I never thought you wouldn't. So you know that we're certainly struggling with new challenges with Zoom, but this is the hand we were dealt. This is the cards we're playing, and this is a pretty good hand. So based on this response, I am encouraged one more time. So so we have a couple more people. Is it? Oh, I can't figure it out now. I lost my place. I'm going to just jump. Is it Kay? Or Kay, are you here? Okay, how about Jennifer? Oh boy, we were doing so well.
Hi.
Oh, there you are.
I wasn't expecting to be called.
Well,
Thanks
here
for
you
having
are.
me.
You're going to start your video?
Sure.
There you are.
Hi.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Jazzy. We had the, well, I had the pleasure of working with you on a photo shoot for Nordstrom many years ago. I'm a producer and an art buyer. And I just wanted to tell you how much, what an impact you had on me. And it was such a delight to get to know you on that shoot. And perhaps you don't remember, it was in Northern California and it was many years ago. But I'm a big fan and I love your work. And it's a pleasure to just be here and say hello and see and hear what wonderful things everyone says about you. Congratulations.
Good seeing you. Thank you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
So I'm going to impose upon David one more time. If I think David, you're here, aren't you?
Which David?
You're the David.
Okay.
You always have so much to say about the artists that you show, and when I look at the people you show, the people that have been touched by Paul as students, the people you've gathered together under your roof all have a sense of meaning, and it must be really a remarkable life for you as well to know these people and to help them exhibit their work and to give it that context. I can't thank you enough for our city and for the department, how generous you've been with your space and your time. We've done gallery walks there, and you've let students come in and see the work firsthand and take over your space sometimes. I remember Eugene Richards was yelling at my students, and it was great. It was great. I couldn't pay enough for that. But so the show's up till December 31st.
Correct. Yes, and it looks beautiful. But if you can't visit Los Angeles and see the show, we are open by appointment. But if you can't, you can see it online. You can see the installation. There's an interview that we did with Paul, and yeah, it's a great way to see if you can't be in town. And as a response to your comments,
David, Happy New Year to you from me.
Hear me okay? Everybody hear me?
Yes,
I can hear you.
It's been a great pleasure to support the photographers in Southern California or the West Coast, but also to introduce people that are from work in Europe or Japan or what have you. And it's been a learning experience for me. And with each photographer, Jazzy included, it's always an opportunity to have this intimate experience where you can really delve into their background and their history and spend time with them. And so it's been a great ride for me. So I appreciate it. And each show is special and different. And this show looks pretty spectacular, if I do say so myself. So have a look.
I couldn't agree more. And making an appointment and seeing the show is spectacular. Being alone in the gallery is an experience I'll never forget. So, this is, again, these silver linings. So I think we're going to go to Kay Gallen. Is that right?
Yep.
She was there for a second.
Again, thank you, dude, for pulling all this together. You're the man.
I wouldn't do this for everybody. Kay?
Yeah, no, I wasn't really trying to get on. Hey, Paul. I was just saying, I thought I was hoping you'd be showing the art and that Paul would be talking about his photos, but apparently not. So that's all.
Okay. So I think we're going to wrap this up. At the same time, this is going to go on forever. The photo department, Faye Klein, the teaching that goes on in our department, the way that Paul inspires students and teachers, the way that we really need each other, and the way that we help each other. This has been just a remarkable time for me to see how much people learn and how much they give back and how much they appreciate what they've learned. And we don't spend enough time talking about this. We don't spend enough time appreciating the times. And I would agree with what someone said. Those were the best times, except for the next times. The times that are coming are going to be equally remarkable, because we'll have had this time and time to think and time to reflect on ourselves and each other and our lives. And when this is done, there'll be another explosion of just art and creativity and meaning. So I look forward to the next year with all my heart. So Paul, I can't thank you enough for doing this. This has meant so much to me.
Oh, and right back at you, Dennis. Thank you for pulling it all together.
Thank you, Dennis, for pulling this together for Paul.
Yeah. And I want to thank
Happy New Year.
I want to thank everybody for helping and showing up. And if you didn't get on, we'll do this again next December 4th on Paul Jasmin Day. But thanks everybody, and be safe, be smart, stay at home.
To everybody.
Bye,
Bye,
Jazzy.
Jazzy. I love you.
Bye, Jazz.
Good night, everybody.
Jason.
Thanks, Dennis.
See you, Jason. Bye, Jazzy.
Bye. Hi, Jazzy. Thank you again. Thanks to everybody. Thank you, Dennis. This is amazing. Thank you.
Bye, Kalina.
Hi, Doug. How are you?
Hi, Paul. Thank you. Thanks, Dennis.
Nobody wants to leave. I like that.
Good to see you, Wilson.
Yeah, good to see you too, Doug.
Thanks for everything. Colina.
Nice to see you. It's been too long. Yeah.
Been a long time, huh?
I know. Crazy.
Thank you for putting this together, Dennis. It was special. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Really. And Wilson and everybody. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.